guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah and let's recap and review Real House of Beverly Hills. This is season 13, episode 20, and the final part of the reunion, part 3. So let's get into it. Y'all. So y'all already know sometimes before we get into it, we gon' get a little spicy, okay? So I just have two things to talk about. So the first spicy thing is Anne-Marie calling out Garcelle and Sutton. And then the second spicy thing is Mauricio in his Netflix show talking about why he left the company when he was with Hilton and Highland. Kathy, her husband, Richard, I think it's Richard or Rich, his agency, and then Paris Hilton calling him out. So first, let's talk about Sutton and Garcelle and Anne-Marie. So Sutton was on Watch What Happens Live. I'll play the clip, but I'm going to have to change the audio because they real quick to give a girl a copyright strike. Okay, NBC Universal don't play. Watch What Happens Live does not play. So pretty much, Sutton was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was asked about her relationship with Anne-Marie. So I'm going to play that clip, and then I'm going to read what Anne-Marie posted.
From the very beginning. Anne-Marie and I were not friends when we started, and I wouldn't consider her a friend today. I met her, and she kind of attacked me from the very beginning.
The audio you heard, what's her name? Anne-Marie put the screen recording of the actual Watch What Happens Live clip in her Insta story, and she preferenced it with this, and it'll come up on the screen. It says, oop, there's that attack word again. So Sutton can say, I attacked her, but it's not okay when Dorit says attack to Garcelle. Someone please make the double standard and hypocrisy makes sense. So then she went on after that and posted this. She said, women of color have to work twice as hard to be in the same spaces. And even when we get there, we are always a target. You want to talk about privilege? Woo! Let's keep it consistent, please. I think she meant to say, let's keep it consistent, please. So here's my thing. I think Anne-Marie is conflating the two situations. You did attack Sutton. Garcelle wasn't attacking Dorit. And I think all on top of Garcelle not really liking Dorit and then feeling some type of way about Dorit because Dorit has made kind of like comments that are like perceived by other people be like, girl, no, that's not what it is. Because Dorit don't be reading the room sometimes. I feel like her using attack, it wasn't a good word choice. And it was a microaggression in the sense of because you and Sutton were just going back and forth, and Garcelle was just pointing out Dorit was shaming Sutton when everyone was trying to have fun. When honestly, I think Dorit was feeling out of place and her feelings were hurt that she found out that Erica, Garcelle, and Sutton were hanging out, and she already wasn't in a good place with Kyle, and then she don't really like Crystal. I think she was just feeling out of place. And then when Garcelle was saying what she was saying, I think she did feel attacked. But if she would have just used the word, why are y'all ganging up on me? Or I feel ganged up upon, then... Or if she would have said, I'm feeling attacked, y'all. I feel like y'all are attacking me, instead of just singling Garcelle out and saying, why are you attacking me, Garcelle? It wasn't a good look. Whereas when it comes to Anne-Marie, girl, you were attacking Sutton. Like the person you're trying to defend, Dorit, who keeps saying words mean things, words have weight. Well, Sutton used it in the right context, Anne-Marie. You didn't know the lady. You were questioning her about her medical history, and you keep bringing up that you're a nurse. So you should have known that questioning this lady about her history was, in the manner in which you did it, was attacking. Now, I got on to Sutton saying that Anne-Marie was raising her voice when she wasn't raising her voice with her, but she was being passive-aggressive with Sutton. And she was doing Kyle's dirty work where it's like, Anne-Marie, you just got here. Why are you already trying to beef with someone you don't really know? So I think in that context, Sutton used the term correctly, but with Dorit, it just wasn't in the right context, and she got in trouble for it. So The next thing we're going to talk about, and our final spicy topic before we get into the review, is going to be Mauricio. So a Mauricio show called Buying Beverly Hills is, I think, premiered on like the 22nd of March, but they're starting to do promo. They're releasing promotion clips. They're releasing a trailer. This season actually looks really interesting. But pretty much Mauricio is talking about why he left Hilton and Highland. We know the Hilton part is Rick Hilton, who is married to Kathy Hilton. And he pretty much is talking about why he left the company. Now, we know because of Mauricio leaving the company and taking agents with him and his client list, that put a bad taste in Kathy and Rick's mouth. And they kind of have been playing Mauricio to the left. And it caused a huge rift between Kyle and her sisters. Well, this is what Mauricio had to say. And I'm not going to play the clip, because just like NBC Universal, Netflix is the same, okay? Netflix is the same. But I'm going to read the transcription of what he said from the page, No Smoke No More. And they said this: "Oops, Mauricio is calling out his brother-in-law, Rick Hilton. He said, I think I got effed by Hilton and Highland." And when I say F, you know, like today I'm happy, but there was 100 agents at Hilton and Highland. They did $1 billion for the first time a year. I was 19.6% of that production. Mauricio said because of his success he brought to his brother-in-law's business, he thought he would be compensated by being made a partner. I went to Rick and I said I liked equity, right? And to be a partner of Hilton. And his co-founder Jeff Highland told Mauricio no. Now that Kyle and Mauricio are separated, Mauricio is spilling the tea. Now, I Googled how much is 19.6% of $1 billion. Y'all, that is $196 million. He made them $196 million. And he just asked to be a partner, to have equity in the company. And y'all told him no. He would be dumb to stay with y'all. I would have left. That's like that saying the old folks always say, I can do bad all by myself. Like if he's making $190 million by himself from selling real estate and all of that, why would he stay with y'all and not compensate, get that on the front end for himself? Like what it sounds like to me is that they're pissed, or because Kathy talked about it on the reunion, and I feel like Kathy was lying, and that's why Kyle shut it down, because it sounds like they didn't want Mauricio to become bigger than them, and they're mad that Mauricio's company is actually successful, because that makes no sense to me. That man got y'all $190 million and y'all couldn't give him a piece of something. Like that's what you want your people to do. Is do that so y'all can use them to add and aid in building your company higher. How Mauricio stayed with y'all and was a partner of the company, y'all probably would be making way more money. But he betted on himself, and I'm not mad at him for that. So when Paris Hilton entered the chat, all I wanted to tell her was to shut up. So Paris saw the clip on she quoted this under Queens of Bravo when she saw the clip, and she said this. She said, "My father is a consummate gentleman, and he has always taken the high road. He would never speak negatively about his family, especially in the press. Frankly, we are all sick of him using Hilton's name every chance he gets to plug his lame show. It is enough already." Paris, shut up. All I wanted was Paris to shut up, because I'm like, Paris, you contradict yourself so much, because ma'am, that statement in and of itself was a contradiction, because you have a TV show where you show that your parents are weirdos and that they're emotionally neglectful, and you did a documentary pretty much saying that. Like, that's the whole reason why Kathy became a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because her image that was showcased on your documentary was not a likable one, and neither was your father. It gives very much that they emotionally neglected you and left you out there on your own at the age of like 13 and 14. So for you to say that, and then for you to act like Mauricio speaks about Hilton and Highland all the time, he doesn't. And even the clips I've seen of the show, because I don't watch the show, I've seen clips, he has probably mentioned it like maybe 2 or 3 times. And even if he was speaking about it negatively or positively, he has the right to do that because y'all did him dirty. Your dad did him wrong. Like, Paris, you sound dumb because there's no way you make somebody $196 million and ask for like to be compensated as being a partner or having equity in a company, and you stay because they tell you no and keep making them that same money. That's a bad business move. So Mauricio betting on himself or speaking about what happened is his story, and he's allowed to speak about it. Girl, your parents are not likable people, so I'm pretty sure his story is the truth. You should have just kept your mouth closed, in my opinion. Y'all, so let's get into this review. First of all, why was Kathy there? Why was Kathy there? Like, when I tell y'all, it made absolutely no sense to me why that lady was there. She added nothing. Kyle was speaking in circles, a bunch of just word salad. And my thing about it is, if you don't want to be truthful about what's going on in your real life, either one, practice your lies, or at least learn how to deflect better. You have the money to get media training, Kyle. Like, this was so irritating. It was so irritating because I was like, it's clear as day you're not being honest. So then it makes people want to pry more. And it's like, I think one of my mutuals said online, like, Kyle wants to be, what's the word, like so salacious and like a rebel and all of this stuff, but she won't be transparent, so it falls flat for us. And I'm paraphrasing what they said, but that's pretty much what I got from their tweet. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, she's trying to act like she's just this bad girl, she's evolving, but like, with evolution comes transparency, in my opinion. And you're not being transparent, and it's like, it's making people not want to be on your side. That's just what it is. That's just the tea for me. Because I even tweeted this. I said, the way Kyle has rolled out this divorce situation, it doesn't look good on her part, because I can tell that Mauricio probably did something. He might have actually cheated, might have been cheating for years, but we haven't seen Mauricio out in these streets. It's just been rumor and speculation, but we see you out with Morgan, and it looks a fool because you're not being honest about it. But we not there yet. So the reunion opens up, and it's Sutton and Kyle going back and forth at each other. They rehashed the whole Teddy being on Watch What Happens Live saying Sutton liked to put vodka, like have vodka in her purse. And Kyle was laughing, and Sutton was like, you didn't stop it. You didn't tell her that was wrong. You laughed. So it's like you co-signed it. And again, you made the insinuation that I'm out here with a drinking problem. So then Andy's like, did you have Teddy do your dirty work, Kyle? And Kyle was like, no. She was like, yeah, some things should have been said, and I didn't say them. And I was like, okay, girl, whatever. So then Sutton's like, Kyle, you've been relentlessly mean to me. And Kyle's like, and you haven't been mean to me. And the thing about it is, Kyle has been mean to Sutton. Kyle doesn't like Sutton. She puts up with Sutton because I think she likes the optics of being cool with one of the fan favorites right now. Because we can't deny, even if you don't like Sutton, a lot of people really do like Sutton and go up for her. So I think Kyle wants to still have her in her corner, like on her side. And the thing is like, there's plenty of examples, and I wish Sutton would have just said them, of how Kyle has treated her poorly over the past two years, for the past several seasons. Like, Sutton has only been on, I want to say like 4 seasons, but in those 4 seasons, the last 3 seasons, she hasn't been really nice to Sutton. And I don't get why Sutton won't just name him, and tell her, like, no, you've been a jerk towards me, yo. And so, they then, They then end up hugging, because Andy's like, do you think y'all could get back on the same page? And Sutton gets emotional, and she's like, no, I miss her. Like, I value our friendship. I love her. And Kyle's like, yeah, I miss her too. That's why it was really hard, because you were talking so negatively about me and my marriage. And I'm like, where is this coming from? We're supposed to be friends. And then they end up hugging. And I was Erica and Dorit, like, for real? Y'all gonna hug? If I was Sutton, I would have told her, I'm not there yet, but we can get there. I'm not hugging you, especially when you didn't apologize. You insinuated I had a drinking problem and an eating disorder. You was playing in my face. And then you had your other friend who I don't like, which is Teddy, on Watch What Happens Live saying I got vodka in my bag. Girl, screw you. That's would have been my energy. But honestly, what I think it is the girls don't like the fact that Sutton is, like I said, a fan favorite. She might not be your fan favorite, but she's a lot of people rock with her. And I think shouts out to Nikki Star TV. She always refers to her as like Polly Pocket. And I think that's what it is. Like, they see Sutton as Polly Pocket. She's not a Barbie. You know, she's not a Bratz doll. She's not a Rainbow High girl. She's not a Monster High girl. And whatever, you know, I've been seeing new dolls. I saw there's some new one called Naturalistas and Latinas, you know, cute little dolls. She's not one of those girls. She's Polly Pocket, even though Sutton got way more money than all of them combined, okay? But it's like aesthetically, she doesn't meet what the Beverly Hills girls are. Sutton is 52. Erica is 52. Those are two totally different 52s. When you look at both of them, Erica be looking younger than Sutton all the time. Then you have Kyle, who's like 55 or 56. She be looking, it's like she doesn't fit their aesthetic. Like, she's not getting plastic surgery. She's not working out all the time. And also, it would be different if Sutton's claim to fame was due to entertainment, but it's not. Like, your money and your wealth is from your husband being, I think he's like a financial advisor or somebody like that. It's like she didn't get her money the same way they got their money, on top of she's a Southern girl. So it's a lot of things that count against Sutton in their eyes, that I think that's why they give Sutton the blues, because they're like, you're not one of us. Like, don't ever get it twisted. You not one of the girls right here. You're not a Barbie girl. You're not that. You know what I mean? So Kathy shows up. Girl, why? I don't even know why Kathy was there. Kathy added nothing to this reunion other than it makes everything that Lisa Rinna and Erica said about her, to me, feel like it was true. Y'all already know, if you watch my old reviews of last season, I thought they were telling the truth. I just felt that Lisa was sloppy with the way that she did it, on top of people didn't want to give Lisa the benefit of the doubt that she was telling the truth because it was Lisa Rinna and because they didn't like her. It is what it is. So she gets there. Sutton looks uncomfortable and nervous. And I think it was mainly because she knew that they were going to have to sit there and rehash all the things that she said about Kyle towards Kathy, when she was like, I think this is a crazy love triangle, and I think Kyle's mad and I'm cool with Kathy. I think that's what she was nervous about, because I don't think that Kathy really, I was like, what does Kathy have on Sutton? And if so, girl, say it, because what is it? But she shows up. They asked Kathy, like, hey, do you watch the show? And she was like, no, I just watched the clips. So, you know, she be on OMFG reality TV like the rest of us, and Jay's reality blog like the rest of us. Then they show clips of Kyle and Kathy's relationship, you know, when it was good, then it got bad when they were at the reunion, then what happened in Aspen, and then that time when Lisa and Kyle went to Kathy's house and Kyle was upset, and then they show Kyle talking to her therapist this season, or her life coach, about her feelings about her sister. And then they asked, like, they started harping on the ladies being like, are you mad that we friends with Kathy? They even showed a scene where Garcelle was asking Kyle, like, are you okay with us being cool with Kathy? And Kyle being like, as long as y'all not talking about me, it's whatever. And Garcelle was like, we don't speak about you. Honestly, the whole entire time this segment was going on, I was like, where's Kim? That's the only sister we all like. Where's Kim? Where's Kim Richards? Where's she at? Like, I don't care about Kathy. I do not care about Kathy. So, next thing you know, they're talking to Erica about the way she feels about Kathy. And they were bringing up how they were saying, like, Erica in the back, where she was like, the flashback where she was like, a lot of these women, a few of these women are scared of Kathy, and I'm not, because I don't care to be invited to her parties. Well, girl, not no more, because you don't have the standing anymore. So, of course, you don't care to lose it. But the people who still have it don't want to lose it. But Kathy started laughing about, she was like, I thought it was so funny. Like, I watched it over and over, because me kicking people out, and then everyone's looking at Kathy like, girl, you're playing in our face. And I'm going to get back to watching Capote versus the Swans and reviewing it. But Kathy gives big Slim energy. Like, girl, we know y'all be ousting people out of high society. Y'all will make phone calls and tell people, don't kick it with this person, run this article about this person, kick this person off the birthday list. She not getting an invite. He not. We not playing these games, Kathy. And you could tell that Kathy, even though the Kathy thought it was funny, like her face, I was like, these emotions that she's giving me, the crying didn't feel real. This laughing felt forced and fake. Like, Kathy was putting on stunts and shows and it just was not hitting for me. Next thing you know, Sutton starts shaking. Like, them legs get the shaking. And then all of a sudden she's like, whoa. And Garcelle's like, girl, what's wrong? So next thing you know, she is shaking, like visibly shaking, like legit, like, and it's not even like she said, like, you know how some people be like, ooh, I feel shaky. Like, no, like her hands were doing this and them legs were shaking. And like they first tried to like stand her up and then she was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then they tried to sit her back down. The EMT was not listening to Anne-Marie because Anne-Marie was like, she needs to go to the hospital. And the EMT was like, no, she doesn't. But then they said that her blood pressure was like severely elevated the same way Crystal's was severely elevated. So now Sutton is getting scared that she might be having a stroke, that something's happening. All the while this is going on, you got Kathy being like, well, Sutton's 49. She's over 49. She's probably having a hot flash. Then you got like everybody else is concerned other than Erica and Kathy. Erica and Kathy start asking each other. Erica's like, well, how was your holiday? Like, and then they're like on their phones. Kathy's like, oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful, girl. And like, mind you, you got the paramedics on set. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, she needs water. Andy is like fanning Sutton with the cue cards. Like, you good? You need to go lay in your dressing room. Just go lay in your dressing room. So they take her to the dressing room. Pretty much Sutton ended up going to the hospital. They convinced her to go. While she was in her dressing room, they was pushing bananas in her face to eat. She was trying to drink juice. And a lot of people feel as though Sutton's medical emergency was brought on with the sight of Kathy, that a lot of people felt like she did that to leave. Some people feel like it was fake, but I don't think it was fake. Like, you can't fake them types of shakes. Like, and then how can you elevate your own heart rate? Like, she elevated her own heart rate. Like, it was high. They said it was high. Like, and then, like, I don't know, maybe she did overheat. Maybe it was a hot flash in combination, because them lights be hot. Like, even when I do my videos underneath a ring light, I have to stop sometimes and go get water or turn a fan on because the light is hot. So I don't know. I feel two ways. Maybe because she did seem very uncomfortable around Kathy being there. And then Kathy made the statement talking about, I think she did that because she knew I was going to get her, which it made me look at Dorit differently, because Dorit was looking at both Kathy, Erica, and Kyle like y'all, like perplexed by that comment, because I really think she was just like, it's a time and a place. Like, the lady looked like because Dorit said it was scary too, because she was looking at her and then she fell back. And then Erica's like, I think she lost consciousness for a minute. And I'm like, if y'all all knew that, why are you cracking jokes? Because it's not funny. It's not. Even if you don't like the lady, that's not nice. It isn't. Like, any medical emergency that these people have, even if I don't like them, I'm like, I feel bad, because no one wants to deal with their health. And plus, I don't hate these people like that for them to, like, I want them to die or face like bodily harm like that. So next thing you know, they get back onto what Erica said. And Erica pretty much says, Kathy know how to make things happen. She can make a few phone calls, and Crystal co-signs. So definitely Kathy be icing people out of like Beverly Hills, like high society. Then they talk about the big fight that happened when they were in Aspen. And she ends up saying that, like, we've only fought that many times, like 3 times, only 3 times, you know, it's never been that deep with us. Then they start talking about Mo and how Kathy said, you know, he's my brother-in-law and I love him, but like pretty much Rick was okay with him leaving. He just told him, don't poach my clients or my agents. And then you could tell that Kyle's face was like, you're lying. You're lying. Because her face was very much like, that's not. So then Kyle's like, I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road. Because I guess part of the Umansky's like agency group, a couple of the agents left with Mauricio, which tells me they weren't happy working for your husband. So like, just because people are your employees, that does not mean they are dedicated towards you. They need to make sure that they're okay as well. So it's not a bad thing if they decide to leave to go be where they can make more money and sustain themselves. Like, what are you talking about, Kathy? So then they get off the Hilton and Highland thing. That's when they get alerted that Sutton is going to the hospital. Sutton and Garcelle left their phones, and she brought Merce with her. Merce is still in the purse. Okay, I said, Sutton, why you got that man's ashes with you? I don't know if that makes her feel better, but why you got that man's ashes with you? So everyone's like, girl, what? What are we doing? What are we doing? How Kyle and Kathy reconcile. So Kyle actually went to Whitney's wedding. Kim basically told Kyle, girl, if you don't make it right with Kathy, you're not coming to my daughter's wedding. And somehow she made it right at the bridal shower, I guess. Then Kyle, I couldn't understand what Kathy was talking about when she was like, she was in a salon by herself. And then Kyle saw her and sat with her. Because Kathy was fake crying. She was fake crying. And she was like, I can't. And she saw me in the hospital. I was like, I'm confused. Like, it was not audible. Like, I should have had on the captions, the closed captions, but I didn't. And I couldn't understand what she was talking about, the salon story. Then they talk about Kyle doing interviews and how in one of Kyle's interviews, she was afraid of more interviews coming out that she did, I guess, earlier before her and Kathy got cool again. And Kyle was like, yeah, I was nervous. And Andy was like, I can understand why you were nervous. And then Kyle was like, I think Kathy ended up saying, well, Kyle told me about these interviews, so I was okay. Then Kathy says, I think I'm more sensitive than Kyle. And Kyle made a face like, girl, what? No. And then Kathy was like, well, no, your vibe is a lot stronger than mine. And Kyle was like, I don't know. No. And then Kathy was like, I just want you to I just want to know that I'm needed by you, And then Kyle ends up grabbing Kathy's hand and being like, no, I do need you. You've been wonderful with this whole process of her and her situation with Mo. So then they get on Kyle's marriage. They do the montage from 2013 all the way to 2023 to where they are now. And, Kyle, this whole entire segment, Kyle was beating around the bush because they talk about the whole makeup band, the whole makeup ring, and her being like, she don't know what that is. Then Andy's like, where did the change start? Because you seem to be fine in 2022, and now we're in 2023, 2024, and it's issues. And I'm like, yeah, so did he cheat or did he not cheat? So then she says she lost trust in Mo. So I'm like, so he cheated. Is that what happened? But Kyle's not trying to say what happened. She keeps being very vague with her responses. So then Andy's like, so did something happen? And then she said she just couldn't try anymore, and she loves her kids and she loves her family. And then she was like, this is not fake. We were together for 28 years. This is not how I wanted my marriage to end. So I'm like, so did he cheat? Because what it's sounding like, either one, so here's my thing. Either one, he cheated and the person he cheated with, you just couldn't handle it. Or two, he's always been cheating, and since your friend died, you couldn't handle, like you just didn't want to take it anymore. Or two, you are having a midlife crisis because of or going through a different stage or processing grief, and now you're reevaluating your life, and the things that you thought would fulfill you at this age no longer fulfill you anymore. And so now you want to move on with your life. Like, say what it is. This whole being around the bush and like talking in circles and stuff is highly annoying, and it's aggravating, because you can't sit here and say that you've been so open and honest with like your relationships, and then when people are asking you questions about it, either one, it's easy to tell that you're lying, or two, it's easy to tell that you're lying and you're not good at deflecting. And it's annoying. It's annoying. I'm just going to it's annoying. They then start talking about the rumors that have been around for a long time. Andy, about like Mauricio being caught in the streets or out here cheating. And Erica ends up saying it's like the campaign of whispers. Like they want things to be true. People just be saying things. And so Andy was like, did those affect your marriage? And Kyle says, yes, it made me insecure and it made me lose trust. My thing is, if it's a rumor, then how does it make you lose trust? So you're saying that he used to cheat or he has cheated. Girl, cause a rumor, someone making a rumor about me wouldn't make me lose trust in, like, if I'm in a relationship and I know my man, I know my partner, unless I have factual proof that he has cheated on me or he's moving funny or any type of way, then I would not believe the things that random strangers say about me if they don't have proof. You know what I mean? So they then start talking about Mo being on Dancing with the Stars, and she says that she was jealous, and Erica said, I wouldn't be. Like, every dance that they do is very sexual, it's very sensual. And Kathy was like, oh, I was actually surprised that she let him do that. I guess Kyle gave the okay. And then Andy said, well, how did you feel about the dance that he dedicated towards you? And it was a very like raunchy dance. And it was kind of like, and the commenter said it was kind of like a F you to Kyle. Because this was around the time at the height when all the Morgan rumors were coming out. And then during this time when he was on Dancing with the Stars, they were separated. Or like they had just said that they were separated. So it's like, why is it not okay for him to be walking down the street holding hands with this other woman when you're all like, you sitting on, Morgan sitting on your lap, y'all making a music video where you're like kissing on her, like you're playing into the rumors as well. So why are you mad? But she said she was jealous and she said it was hard to watch. But I, like, the whole time she was talking, I was like, but what about Morgan? What about Miss Morgan? So then they asked Dorit, like, how does she feel about it? And she said, I didn't like it because it was kind of like watching PK hold somebody else's hand. I said, girl, that lady's not your friend, so you shouldn't be taking on that type of energy from her man that's not your husband, Dorit. Don't do that. You know, the people already think you and Mauricio got something on the low, allegedly. No, we didn't get confirmation that they're actually like separated. So I'm like, okay, so y'all not together. What you mad about? And I mean, I get it. They've been together for 28 years. They're trying to work everything out. But it's still like, if I'm not with you anymore and we're supposed to be like setting up our lives to be apart from each other, then I think I'm allowed to like move on without you, bro. I'm allowed to see what other options are out there until we decide whether or not we truly want to get a divorce. I'm talking about Morgan. And mind you, Morgan's voice is so weird to me because I guess when I see her, I'm expecting like a deeper voice or like I don't know, it's so country, but then like she sings country, so it makes sense, but it's just like not the voice I pictured her having. you know how you hear somebody and you're like, oh, that's how you sound. Even me, when I listen to like when I edit my videos, I'm like, that's how my voice really sounds. So they talk about how Morgan is feeling with the show. She says she's not really comfortable with everybody she wasn't comfortable with the way, the Bravo fandom acted towards her. Like she wasn't, like she says, Kyle ends up saying that Morgan never watched the show. I find that that's a lie and that's cap, because even if they have become friends, there's no way you're going to be like, oh, what's your name, Kyle? Y'all exchange social media. You see she has however many followers, because I think Kyle has 1 million. Let me see. How many followers Kyle got on Instagram? Kyle has 4.3 million followers. So there's no way that you like, and let me see how many is Morgan. Let me see how many Morgan Wade has. Morgan Wade only has 288K followers. So there's no way to me that like you and Kyle become friends. Y'all exchange social media. You see this lady has 4.3 million followers and you don't start doing your own research. And then she's not very shy about being on Real Housewives. And like, we know who her family is. Her niece is Kathy Hilton. Nikki, well, I don't think Nikki Hilton. I think Nikki is married to another person. I think she has her name hyphenated. And you know who Kim Richards is. It's hard for me to believe that even though Morgan doesn't watch the show, she didn't do research to figure out who this woman was that she became friends with. That's what normal people do once they, like, y'all exchange social medias. Y'all are like on Instagram, wherever, like on TikTok or on Twitter, trying to figure out who you just talked to or who you are becoming friends with. So then Crystal says she thought they was together based off all the pictures she saw. And I think Kathy said her and Crystal was hanging out, and Crystal was like asking Kathy about it but not saying Morgan's name, and Kyle looked kind of like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, girl, the way y'all was acting online, of course that would lead someone to question. So Crystal was just kind of like, yeah, I was kind of like, I thought maybe you were doing it like a soft launch kind of thing. And Kyle just looks like, oh my gosh, I was actually proud of Crystal for speaking up. Girl, say something. Then Andy asked Dorit, and Dorit was like, yeah, I thought they were girlfriends based off of the way they interacted on their social media. Like, they always taking pictures this close together. She's sitting on your lap. It's a lot going on. And then Anne Marie said something on the after show where she was like, she said Kyle has finally became friends with somebody that she feels really loves and support her. And Kyle's face was another like, oh, girl, you spilling my tea. And then Garcelle and Sutton even said that, like, yeah, it was kind of weird that, like, she just met this girl. And I think Garcelle said, and Morgan's going to the doctor's office with her. Something that's very, like, personal. You have her coming with you. And Sutton was like, oh, yeah, she did tell us that. So I feel like, girl, you were fanning the flames. And then they talk about the music video. And I'm just like, Kyle ends up saying that, like, oh, let's give them something to talk about, because a commenter ends up saying, like, it seems like Morgan is getting way more clout off of being with you, because Andy makes a point, she's now a household name, which is true. I didn't know who Morgan Wade was until she was with Kyle. I was like, yeah, I didn't know who that girl was. I didn't even know she was an artist. Because then Kyle's like, she's an award-winning artist. I said, in her genre, which I'm not trying to take away from Morgan, but I'm like, for people that listen to country, yes, but like, I don't think not a vast majority that like watch Beverly Hills, I think listens to country like that. Like, the only country that I can name you, Reba. That's because I watched the show. I watched Reba's show. I'm a survivor. Reba, Carrie Underwood, because I drove my key into his car, okay? Who else is country? And Dolly Parton. Them the only three I can complain. You say, gun to my head. They're like, name 3 country singers. Them the 3 I'm rolling off the top of my tongue, because that's the only ones I know. Okay, and maybe now I can say Beyonce. But I'm just like, nobody really knew who Morgan was. I don't watch the CMT Awards, but like, I see clips online. I ain't never seen Morgan perform at the CMT Awards. Now, no, and the Dixie Chicks. That's 4. I gave you 4 right there. So she does the music video where they like kiss in the music video, and she talks about how, like, I'm like, I was curious, I was just curious. And then she calls Morgan hot, and I said, okay, so are you soft launching your bi-ness? Is that what you're doing? Because then she looked at Kathy, and Kathy said, you don't got to be ashamed about it. Like, it's okay. So I was like, so I guess she was doing that, because in the music video, she ends up saying, let's give them something to talk about, but then gets mad when everyone brings up that's the part that's annoying. Like, you're playing in our face, Kyle. You're getting mad when people are pointing out what they see with their own eyes, and you're acting like they're wrong or we're wrong for like asking questions and speculating when like you're being coy about it. Like, if you have evolved and you're doing all of this stuff, just own it. You 54, 55, 56 years old. Like, just own it. Own that your marriage is ending and you're moving in this direction. Own that you're probably you have a crush on your new little friend. Like, own it. Andy asked this question, and this is what took me out, is when he asked a viewer question, said, Kyle, what's the real reason why you and Mauricio, like, just cutting straight to it, are getting a divorce or are separating? And Kyle said it's nobody's effing business. And the way Erica's eyes was like, and then Dorit was like, I said, girl, Crystal and Anne-Marie didn't say nothing. Both part 2 and part 3. Like, legit, she was doing the Beyonce mute challenge. Like, she didn't say nothing. I think she said maybe 10 seconds worth of information when they brought up her what she said on the after show. But other than that, like, she didn't add anything. At least Crystal tried. I'm like, Anne Marie, do you want to be here? So, like I said, she said it's nobody's effing business. And I was like, well, then why did you bring it to us? If it's nobody's effing business, then why couldn't you and Mauricio fake the funk long enough to not bring it to us? You know what I mean? So then they were like, if someone has to move out, who's moving out? And she hesitated and was talking all around in circles. And she said Mauricio. And everyone was like, And then she said it's been painful for her daughters. You know, they're strong, but it's a lot. Then Kathy said, you know, he's my niece's father. And I was like, don't you mean nieces? They got like 4 kids. Like nieces? Okay, and then Kathy ends up saying it's been 3 or 4 years of this, like, of like them about to, like, this situation brewing for them to get a divorce. And then Kyle ends up being getting a little perturbed with Kathy because Kathy said, you know, you've been acting weird for the past 3 years a little. And Kyle's like, that's not the right timeline that you got right now, because Kathy was like, you know, when people start getting fame, things start going different. And what I honestly think it is if he is cheating, maybe it was her friend passing away, but I also think it's because Kyle is no longer in that mother role. So things that you could let go when you are consumed about like taking care of your kids, being all about your kids, and now, you know, she's doing movies and all of this stuff, maybe she's starting to think like there's more to offer than me just being Mauricio's wife, and maybe I'm genuinely not happy being that anymore because I'm no longer the mom that I used to be because my kids are becoming adults. You know, I think her oldest daughter is like 34 or 32, and then the rest of the other 2 girls are like in their 20s, and then you got Portia who's about to be 8. Well, no, I think she's like 17, maybe 18. So I think things are different for her now, because the way Kathy was making it seem like they were basically going in 2 separate directions, and like she was like, when she had downtime, she was hanging out with her friends, and so was he. And I also don't like that they tried to play Anita like she's some girl. Anita can sing. I think she's a Latin artist. I've listened to a few of her songs. I like Anita. Don't play with that girl like that. Don't play with Anita like that. That was disrespectful, Andy. And so Kathy ends up saying, whatever makes Kyle happy, I'm good to go. So then they ask Kyle, like, does she like Morgan in that way? She hesitates and says no, because I think they also ask, like, where they know. He asks, were they dating? She's like, look at her lips, and then she's like, no, but she hesitated. Then she was like, that's when she said she thought Morgan was hot, and then she was just like, I don't know what the future holds for our relationship. So are you saying that you interested in her? Girl, what? And then that's when Kyle says she's evolving and all of that stuff. But like I said, to me, when you evolve, there's transparency. Then he yawns again when all the ladies are saying their end of the episode things. And then they do the cue cards. And I think it said Kyle and Mauricio are separated and they're still living together. But he's looking for a house. You know, right now that man is in Aspen doing the Texas Hold'em challenge with Beyonce on some snow. I don't know what's going on over there. But what I do find interesting is, again, Kathy added nothing to this, but one of my mutuals on Twitter was like, her theory is that either Mauricio cheated and wasn't there for her, or she thinks Mauricio has cheated and maybe he cheated again, and this was around the time Lorraine's passing happened, and that Kyle is doing all of this stuff like fanning the flames about Morgan and her relationship to publicly punish him, because she was like, I don't think she's going to leave him. I just think she wants to punish him in this way. And I thought about it and I said, I can see that, but it doesn't help Kyle, because it's not like the rollout for it doesn't make her look good. It actually makes people look at her crazy, because it's like you running around town with Morgan not saying what it is, and he's around town, but it looks like he's just started messing with people because of you and Morgan, and now he's separated, so it's not wrong if he's doing it, and it's not wrong if you're doing it, but like it's like they said, like Kyle wants to be a rebel and she wants to be salacious, but she's not being transparent, and it's annoying. This is what it is. It's annoying. Y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Hop down in them comments below and give me your thoughts. Did you like the fact that Kathy was there? Are you like me? She added nothing. Do you think Sutton had a panic attack, or was she really having a health scare? And do you think if she was having a health scare or a panic attack, do you think it was due to the lights, or do you think it was due to the presence of Kathy being there? And what do you think the future holds for Kyle and Mauricio and Morgan? Honestly, I think if Kyle's not going to share, girl, you need to be demoted. Because this was the season that you could have really took charge and took hold and really been that girl, and you really wasn't. But that's just my thoughts. But I'm out, y'all. Deuces.